What's up, guys? Welcome to Real Estate with Ryan, where we try and raise the financial IQ of every viewer like you. Today, we get a lot of inquiries via social media on how to uh, invest in real estate. How do we enter, entry level investing in real estate? So today, we're going to take a little dive into some entry level investing, a little bit of crowdfunding, and we're going to discuss a scenario of a live listing that we're going to do. We're going to work out a flip scenario. So the most recent question that was asked to me was, if I join in one of your investment groups, where would I begin? So first, it's important for everybody to understand the wealthiest in real estate, your real estate gods, if you will, all started from somewhere. They started with one purchase. So let me tell you that whether you're the smallest fish in the sea or the biggest fish in the pond, I can tell you that investing in real estate is an avenue that can really leave a true legacy and create wealth amongst generations to come. So with that being said, if you have an investment group, let's say made up of about 10 investors. So today we're going to use an investment scenario where we crowdfunded a group of 10 investors, individual investors, and what you basically do is have a pool of funds that you're basically trying to raise capital to either reinvest or the individual you might want to pull out at that time. But basically, it's pooling together monies to raise capital through real estate investing. Okay, so our scenario today that we're going to go through is a flip property. We're going to do a single family flip property here in Las Vegas, and we're going to go with the list price at $200,000, and this time we're going to give them what they asked for. So we're going to work with a sales price of $200,000. Okay, so if you haven't got out a pen, now would be the time. We're going to dive into this thing a little bit. So we're going into when you're in a flip property. Okay, so flip property means you want to buy, renovate, and sell as fast as possible. Okay, so basic philosophy there: buy low, sell high. I use that with all of my investments, but obviously with the flip, there's no breathing room for appreciation. Okay, so mock scenario we have here, we're going to use $200,000 sales price. Okay, so our sales price is at $200,000. Okay, now we're going to use very typical scenarios. Okay, so $200,000 sales price would mean we'd have to come up with a 10% down payment. Okay, so our down payment at $20,000. Okay, 10% of the $200,000. So we have a $20,000 down payment. So now we're getting into out-of-pocket costs. So what the actual cost to the investment group is going to be. So initially we have our $20,000. That takes care of your down payment. Okay. In addition to your down payment, we have closing costs. Okay, so closing costs typically, depending on the deal and the size, but on a finance deal of this size, let's just call it on the high side about 3% of the sales price. So 3% of the sales price, 200,000, is going to run us about $6,000. And let's call our renovation costs 20,000. Okay, so renovation, it could be cosmetic, deferred maintenance, landscaping, whatever it is. We'll call the total renovation project 20,000. So what that means to us is we have a $20,000 down payment. We have $20,000 on the renovation costs. We have $6,000 in closing costs. Now here's something that your local real estate agent might not account for. Now, when you're working with the flip property, you want to anticipate time. So what's my hold time going to be? Okay, so hold time on this, I'm going to anticipate a 90-day transaction. So basically, from the date we close, it takes us 45 days, 30 to 45 days to renovate and list, and 30 to 45 days to actually list the property and sell it and get all investors paid back. Okay, so I give it about a 90-day, 3-month window in there. Basically, cost to do the deal, we're now at $50,000. So we'll go through in a quick review. We have our sales price, $200,000. We have to come up with the down payment, 10%, $20,000. The cost to renovate, let's call it $20,000. We're at $40,000, and then we have another $6,000 in closing costs and escrow fees, and another $3,000 in hold time, which is going to be our mortgage payment and all of our expenses. It might be HOA, you might have management costs, etc. Okay, so let's just round up and call it $50,000 even total cost to do the deal. Okay, so now we want to calculate on the actual resale of the flip property. So once you made it look all pretty and you hired my wife to design it, Bree International Designs, shout out. Once you finish that and she hands it back over to me, then we're gonna go ahead and list it back on the market. Okay, so let's just go with the sales price. Let's say it takes our 30 days to sell it. We're right on time, 30 days. We're at our 60th day and we're already in escrow, ready to close, and we're ready to get the deal done. Let's say we get the deal done, $300,000. Okay, so now we're working with a $300,000 sales price on resale. Okay, so if we have a $300,000 sales price and we have our escrow and commission fees set at $27,000 in expenses for closing costs through the deal. Okay, so now we subtract the 27 from the 300 and we're left with 273. Okay, so we have 273,000, and of that we have to pay the bank back. Okay, so remember we bought it at 200. Okay, so less the 200 from the 273 and we have our profit of 73,000. Now if you remember, it cost us about 50 grand to buy the property. Okay, so what we're making after is about 73. Okay, so basically you put up 50 as the investment group. So if you divide your 50 by the 10 investors, they all put up 5,000 each. Okay, now let's take a look at what the return was on that. Okay, so basically you take the 73,000, you divide that by the 10 investors, each gets 7,300. Okay, so what's the difference? $2,300. So basically you look at your net profit is going to be each $2,300. So when you're coming up with your ROI, you're going to take, you always, when you're coming up every time, this is your ROI template. Okay, so when you're coming up with your ROI, you always take the amount of the total cost for the project out of pocket. So for us it was 5,000. The 50,000 divided by 10, we're now left with 5,000. So we take that and we look at the net profit, okay, which is the 2,300. Okay, so you take the 2,300, you divide that by the 5,000, and we're left with 46%. So basically you can look at a 46% return on your investment in about 90 days. We had a flip property, 200,000. It cost us about 50,000 for the down payment, renovations, and hold time. And then we had a sales price of 300,000. It cost us about 30 grand or so to do the deal. So we were left with about 70 there. Okay, you minus the first bank loan that we had, paying back our down payment and everything at the 200. We're left with the 73. That's about 2,300 each per investor. You divide the 2,300 by the initial investment of the 5,000, and you're left with the 46% ROI. Okay, so when it comes to entry-level investing, I'm very, very high on crowdfunding. It can be a way for you to pool your money with other investors like yourself and get sizable profits. not have much headache. So take that as much as you can, and please like and subscribe, because we absolutely will be bringing more videos your way. And please comment below and let me know what you would like to know, or any future videos. We are looking for recommendations as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed yourself and learned a little bit of something there. Guys, have a great night.